name is Michael, and today we are going to talk about signals, callbacks, and later we are going to talk about events too. This is a short tutorial of some of next coming, because we cannot proceed with our application tutorials if we do not understand what signals are and callbacks which they are needed, and events which they are taking place when you are working in your application. So let's see, here we have a regular program, like a program which creates a window, and here is the window. Basically create window, so we create a window like we already did in the last tutorials, and in the first one we set a size for this window and the border, and then we return it. So this function only creates a window, nothing more, 300, and then we connected the destroy signal to the window by calling GTK main quit to destroy our window, and we were passing a null parameter argument in this context to this function gsignal connect, and we printed this window, and then we were calling GTK main, which basically starts the main loop, and at this point goes to sleep your application, so nothing happens after your application reaches this part until I don't know, something special happens, like someone types something, or someone press a button, or something like this. So let's see an application. I will show you something. I already built one, created. So this is it's just a regular window where we have a button, we have a label, we have a with text inside. Here we can see the mouse coordinates, and down you'll see scroll down is up, which is also a container with a label inside it, and down at the bottom we have another container with the label where it says drag me to hell. So let's see, I run this application, this program, and as you can see we have a title, and the title says signal events, because this is the title which defaults to the name of the application. I didn't change it for a default one. So now when I focus on the quit button, you will see that the title is changing. Watch now, I press the button, it says left click button was pressed. I will release the clip, and it says left click button was released, just like here. And now the same thing happens with the right click button was pressed, right click button was released, middle button was pressed, and middle button was released. The same thing we have here. If I'm going to move the window, you will see that the position of the window, it will be printed here in the title, you see. So where I move the window, there or there, anyway, you see the position of window is printed in the title. Next thing, when I'm going to reach the second container, which is our label with the message here, we can see these mouse coordinates. At that point where we move the mouse inside that container, it will show us the mouse coordinates, which they are printed on the screen. I mean, they are printed here on your console, and also they are printed on the Windows title. So as you can see, it works fine. And then I go on up, and now I will move to the third container, which is a scroll down scroll up container, which I prepared for you, which is also a label. I will go inside this container, and as you can see, says the mouse is entering the scroll area. You see it on the console, and also on the title of the window. Now when I will go into scroll up, it says scroll up detected and changed, not only the text but also the size and the color. And then I go into button, scroll down, you see change also the color, and also it was changed. We changed the font too. And then when and says scroll down detected, also in the title. When I leave, says here you can see the mouse is leaving the scroll area, and also here. And now on the last part, here you see where we have the last container at the bottom, where it says drag me. If I click the left mouse and I will start to move the window, you will see that the window starts moving, and it will print also here the position of the window. You see, I can move the window without needing to move it from here, from the title. I can just move it from here, and this is almost everything you need to know or to start to work with your application when you need to catch signals and events and so on. Okay, I will close the program now, and it's time to talk about these things. So the first things first, we have the function gsignalConnect, like I said, and this function, it just connects the destroy signal to the window, and then by connecting this signal to the window, when the signal happens, the GTK main quit is called, and the program, we have no parameter, the program exits and the window will be destroyed. Yes, and that's it. Now let's see about this function. We go here, like we already know, developer.com.org, GTK3 stable AP index full, and we are going to search about this function, and says gsignalConnect connects to a gcallback function to a signal for a particular object. The handler will be called before the default handler of the signal. Okay, it's a little bit like maybe complicated for you, but I will skip this part because we don't need too much theory. We need to understand how it works in lots of meanings. So says connects a gcallback function to a signal for a particular object. Now we go inside to see what means this. So I will open the link in the new tab, and says gcallback means that there is a function pointer, and this function pointer means that we need to create a function. The type of use for the gcallback function is in the structure definition and function signature. This doesn't mean that all callback function must take no parameter and return void. Of course, you will see later that we are working with at least two kinds of callback functions. One is void, which returns nothing, returns void, and the other one is gboolean, because that function is important when we are working with events and other things. And here says use gcallback to cast the callback function to a gcallback. When we go here inside, says define gcallback f, and says cast the function pointer to a callback. Okay, so we know that we need to cast this function. In other words, the gsignalConnect takes four parameters. The first one has, because takes the first one is the instance to connect to. In our program is the window itself. The second one is the detailed signal, which is a string of the form signal name detail. You should watch carefully, because the signal has to be a string. This means you need it to put it inside these double quotes like I did here. So don't try to do something like this, because it will not work, because expect you see error destroy is undeclared, of course, because it's the function, the way how you try to do it is like you are passing a variable or function or something, and it's expecting a string there. Anyway, this is the second one. The third one is our G callback to connect to. It's like we already talked here. And the last one is the data. The data to pass to the C handle calls. Data, it means a parameter which can be an information about what your callback function has to work with. So it could be even another widget which you can pass it. For this, you will learn later about another function which is called gsignal connect swap. I don't know how you really spell it, and that's it. So now, okay, what do we know? We know that we need to destroy signal to can call this GTK mega. But how do I know about this signal? How do I recognize it? How do I know which kind of signal do I need? So let's see. Let's start to search a little bit about window. Let's see what the reference says. So I will just type here window, nothing more, just window. Okay, well, we'll have to search. The first one is coming. Window is the reference to our window, and we came here where it says GTK window new. We go to signals. Bam. Says create surface from embedded move to. Well, we did pass a window like the program said, but our window is a widget. So even if the signal connect expects instance, and this has to be in this case a window, where our window is a widget type. So let's see if I'm right. I go here, GTK widget, I search for it, it's came. I go all the way up, says GTK widget base class for all widgets. So I will go to signals, and there we go. Here we have a lot of signals, and one of them is the destroy one, which we need it. We click on it and says to create this destroy signals a signal, we need to create a callback function. This one, it looks like this. I will copy it just in the way how they provide it. I will try to make it the way I like it and not the way they provide it. Okay, so this is the function, and later said signal that all holders of a reference to the widget should release the reference. I know. How can I better explain? Because matters with the finality of the widget if all references are released. This means if you call this function with this destroy signal, the application will close and the reference will be dropped, and finalization will take place, and so on, and the widget will be destroyed, and also the window will close and the program exits or something like that. I don't know, blah blah blah. It's too much information, too much complicated now to speak. But what we know that the signal, which is the destroy one, is the signal which we find it. We know that we need it, and we know why it's there, and now we know how the callback function has to look like. And because of this, we create it. It's here, and now what we will do, we will just copy this part. We'll put it here. Now we need those two parts because we cannot call a function name just like this. We need to provide those two parameters. And now when I will replace the user function name here and I put it here, I run the program. It should not compile, or at least I should have warning or an error. We'll talk about that just in a second. Why? Let's see. I build it, I run it, and says, okay, no problem. Okay, I need to provide for my GCC compiler everything what it needs, because I'm using GCC, I think 9 and 8, 9, whatever. Anyway, the thing is that I'm working with all possible flags turned on this compiler, which means it will inform me about almost every possible warning which can lead to some problem to our application. So okay, we create a prototype for this function, and now I will compile it, run it again, and says unused parameter object and unused parameter data. Okay, now one thing you need to know, by creating these callback functions means those callback function has to look, and the matter how they were created from the GTK developers. This means you cannot just create a function with I don't know, void, I know, maybe just one parameter, because it's not working like that. We will gonna learn about this a little bit later, and you will see why it's important to have these parameters, the way how they are looking, even you are not using them. You need them there, but I need somehow to find a way to silence the compiler, to cut it off, because we cannot compile our program in the way it is, because I need to silence these parameters so that my program can compile. For this, you just need to cast it to void. So void object is the first one, yes, and the second one is data, void data, or user data, sorry, user data. Okay, now what did I just did here? I said to the compiler, when you're coming inside this function, you will see that I have those two parameters, and then you go inside to these brackets, and you will see that the object parameter and user data parameter was casted to void. So it means please ignore those parameters and just go to the next line, call the GTK main quit, and close my program. I will run it, and of course we have the last problem. We will see it because we forgot the last thing. Gsignal header file says Gsignal connect data, which is the data called from Gsignal connect, has those parameters, and the third one says here passing arguments through Gsignal connect data from incompatible pointer type. Oh, what's this? So let's see. It says Gsignal connect data. This is the instance. Okay, this is the first one. It's not this one. The second one is the detail signal. It's okay. It's not this one. The third one is the C handle. And C handle says the C handle the callback to the to connect. And now we see this part says G callback. So something we did wrong here, of course, because we need to go back a little bit to our wait, I'm gonna search again the function Gsignal connect. Okay, Gsignal connect. So when we go here inside, it says connects to a callback function, yes, and when we go here inside, the thing we were forgetting was use gcallback to cast the callback function to a gcallback. This means we need to cast our user function to this gcallback to can work with it. So we take this out. We're gonna say gcallback. We're gonna put this inside. We'll run it. And there you go. The program was fine, compiles fine, no error, no nothing. I will just hit X and the program close. We can also inform our program by saying g print goodbye, and then after, okay, let's put an line also here. Now when we close it, it says goodbye. Okay guys, thank you for watching. This one was the first tutorial about signals, and they are coming the next ones about signals and callback function, and about events, which are those special signals which we need them to, not just to know how, let's say when you click a button then something happens. A signal is connected to, on this example, when you click the close button here, the X one, you already know that by doing this you need a signal to catch the destroy signal, which means you will call the application. But how do you know which button was pressed, and how do you handle those buttons and so on? Those are those events which we are going to talk later about it. Okay, then thank you guys, and until next time, please subscribe and share it if you want to with your friends, and until next time, see you later.